What's happening, everybody? It's the Mind Snacks podcast, and it was all different, right? Like, because there was no theme song.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
There was no theme song tonight.
I was amazed I didn't hear Steve Carell screaming at someone.
Well, so here's what's up with the theme song. It kept getting flagged.
We get flagged for it.
Every time we get flagged for it, they think it's like stolen material, and it's not. It's copyright-free shit that I have. But Facebook flags it.
Every time.
So, new theme song.
Nothing?
New theme song's going to go. Well, right now,
find one.
there's nothing.
Find one. Let's just make one, dude.
But, dude, we should.
That's why you have me here, right?
Well, I mean, it could be. Like,
we can just have Ruben do like some sick guitar riff thing.
Dude, he really can.
With, dude.
He really could.
I can play the fucking skin flute in the background.
You know what? I want to do it just because I want to hear you play that.
I don't want to hear me play that.
It would be like Shitty Flute. You've heard Shitty Flute, right?
Yeah. Do you like the Titanic Shitty Flute?
Yeah, have you seen those videos?
I have not. But I think I'm going to need to go watch it now. So.
Oh, dude.
Right.
Yeah, just YouTube Shitty Flute. It'd be like the 20th Century Fox Shitty Flute, dude.
It's no, it's not that. That's different.
Yeah, no, that's it.
Is it the melody to My Heart Will Go On or something?
I think
I can't look anything up.
It's so weird. Like, but it's like
I wish you had like the ability to like on the fly put stuff on the screen.
So I actually do. I'm just out of practice on that. But what I do have the ability to do is on the fly. Yeah. So I think we can play Shitty Flute. That's, of course, if the internet will cooperate with what I got going on over here. And you never know. The internet just doesn't do that.
Part of the suspense of doing a live podcast.
Well, I'm saying that's what happens is, you go live and it's like, here's the plan. Shitty Flute. No, bro. Welcome to the Mind Snacks podcast. Our guest tonight in studio is a musician. He is a politician. He is a local guy. We love him. He's been here before. He's back again. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ruben Guthrie.
Hi, everybody.
What's up, buddy?
Not much. It's good to be back amongst friendly faces and having some fun.
Friendly faces?
Yes.
Friendly faces.
We're friendly looking, dude.
We do look good.
We look pretty friendly.
We do look good.
I look friendly.
It's unbelievable.
I don't know if Sean. I don't know if your goal was to ever intimidate anybody, but this is a compliment. You don't intimidate me. I mean,
I shouldn't intimidate anyone. Like, there's no reason
being intimidated
to ever be intimidating.
Being intimidating is an overrated idea because who wants people to be scared of them? Right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I know. Now, the only time I think it ever benefits me is like when I have to break up a bar fight. And
they're like, "What are you going to do? Tickle me to death?" Dude?
Well, right, but they don't know, right? They have no idea. So it's like, whatever.
You're the unofficial bouncer at Ziggs, is what you're saying.
I am not the unofficial bouncer at Ziggs. I am just kind of the guy that is tasked with doing that sort of thing when it comes up, and it doesn't come up often.
I say I haven't had to break one up in there. Like last time, I think me and Mark Ray had to break one up, and it was like a big dude.
What did you do?
Well, I tried to pull one guy off, and he stood up.
Did you get behind him and you're like, "Hey, man"?
I said, "I'll beat you off with both hands."
I beat you off with both hands.
No, like I was trying to I got behind him and I was like, and I grabbed onto him and I'm like trying to pull him off and he just stood up and he was way taller than I thought because he was all hunched over and my feet left the ground. I'm like, oh fuck, boys! I had to ride him into battle at that point.
That's called being in over your head.
Yeah, I was fucked. I didn't realize how fucked I was at the time. What?
It's just funny.
It's every time I'm on this show, there's always some point where Tyler makes me laugh at something completely unexpected. I was not supposed to expect it to come up.
Yeah, dude, it was a good time though.
All right, here's an example of Shitty Flute. That's Last Christmas by Wham. And basically that's what Shitty Flute is. They take a recorder and play really bad over some flute parts or some sort of instrument part.
They play it so bad, but they play it good enough so you know what it is.
You know what it is.
Like, you know exactly what it is when you hear it.
Oh, it's known as the sweet spot, right?
Yeah.
That kind of like that's exactly how live music goes sometimes.
Yeah.
It might be bad, but it's good enough that you know exactly what it is.
And as long as they're giving it their all, that's all.
As long as they're giving it everything they have, it is fine.
Yeah. Fucking shitty flute, dude.
Now you could be humming along shitty flute
I know.
songs all night.
I mean, like,
right?
anytime you see it, it's like, most of the time, it's like the intro to like one of the funniest videos you've ever seen. Like it used to be. Like it used to be like intro, like the 20th Century Foxing would come, and it would go to like shitty flute, and then like be like some dumbass video that made me laugh way too hard for what it was.
It's so funny, like when it does that.
Yeah.
So
maybe something I need to incorporate in my shows going forward.
Shitty
true
flute.
Story, man. True story.
Dude, I learned
Speaking
how to
of
play
that,
recorder in the 3rd grade. If you need any help,
yeah,
I probably still got it, dude.
you help him out with
I
that.
only know how to play hot cross buns or whatever they taught you.
Everybody learns how to play hot cross buns.
Have you
when
seen
they
those?
start.
Have you seen those fucking memes? It's like, yeah, man, it was awesome. I learned how to. It's like the hot cross buns has helped me so many times after I graduated high school instead of learning how to do my fucking taxes. like you know how many times that hot cross buns came up?
You know, I probably still have because they had us do that recorder karate thing in elementary school, like where you had like to tie a little like string around, like it was like it was like martial arts belts, right?
What?
And yeah, that's what they had us do because I went to Rock Creek.
Oh yeah,
BC,
I went to Mount Healthy,
and so we and they had us do that. I think I still have mine somewhere.
Oh yeah, dude.
It's probably covered in like 20 years of dust at this point.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, dude.
I should have brought it as a souvenir if I'd known this is where this conversation was going.
Derek Schubert in the comments says we'll have to get the group together and sing something for it. And I'm like, we are going to sing Shitty Flute. I don't know how, but this group he talks about, this boy band we put together at karaoke.
You know what would be a good shitty flute?
What?
99 Balloons. That'd be a good shitty flute song.
That would be pretty good.
Just the German part, just like the shitty flute it, dude. That'd be
Shitty
good.
Flute. Well, so when I was in Third from Last, we played that song, and I learned not the German language.
You just learned the song.
But I learned how to mouth and make my mouth make the same sounds as what was in the German part.
Well, to be honest, I mean, phonetics is about all you can do in a situation like that.
Well,
right?
and that's exactly what it was.
You had no idea. You had no idea what you were actually singing.
No.
Well, and the thing is,
Non Christ Benista Threshold Unsan
I mean, you were speaking German.
Well,
you learned the language.
Hilton Stischnick Clown voice. I don't know.
you want to know something? I mean, the Beatles had to do that at one point. There's actually because they actually got famous. Before they were famous, they were playing in clubs in Hamburg, Germany, in West Germany, because it was.
Yeah, I actually knew that they went to Germany and they took off a little bit there.
And then I'm sorry, I don't want to cough on the mic. Then some years later, after Beatlemania hits all over the world, they ended up putting out German language versions of "She Loves You" and "I Want to Hold Your Hand." Those actually exist. So.
Oh wow, I had no idea.
Oh, yeah.
It's "Sie liebt dich" is "She Loves You."
"Sie liebt dich."
It's like "Sie liebt dich," yeah. It goes like that.
That's what I'm gonna get. That's what after I'm gonna go play this show, and then I'm gonna go get me some Salib Dick.
Salib Dick.
Wait,
and I want to hold your hands. Come give me deine Hand.
Wow.
Which I mean, I suppose it translates to "Come give me your hand" or something.
Sure. I mean, nothing is exact,
right?
But it's close enough.
Speaking of translating stuff, did I tell you what fucking Verizon did to me?
You did not.
Those motherfuckers.
What'd they do?
Okay, so I don't have my Apple Watch anymore. Got rid of my Apple Watch. Just got a Stando fucking everyday watch, right?
Looking sharp.
So thank you.
Real good.
So I got rid of my Apple Watch and I took it off my phone plan, right? In November. Still on there. They're not removing it until like the 22nd or something.
First of all, how do you survive without your Apple Watch? How?
The only thing I miss is when it used to ding for notification. But other than that, I never used it for anything else.
Dude, I use my Apple Watch for everything.
Yeah, I never used it, dude.
Everything.
But I thought I would miss it more, but I do not.
I'll tell you what, this makes me feel better being an Android and PC guy. I'm not tethered to things like that.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't miss it, right? I'm like, whatever.
Did Ruben just tell us he was an Android guy?
I think he did.
I am.
I think he did. You used to be an Android guy, dude. Yeah, remember? You also used to like the Sony.
I never was an Android guy.
Yeah, huh?
No, ever.
Well, you were, dude.
I wasn't.
Yeah, they were superior.
No.
Yeah.
No, I've been Apple for life.
Nuh-uh.
Wait,
you just switched
bro,
Apple when
for
you...
life.
No, you have not.
Yeah, bruh.
No, so, okay, listen.
So Tyler's, is that an Android or is that an iPhone?
This is iPhone. I've been a iPhone lifer, right? Like, and I just... Like Android, you can do like it's open software, right? You can do a lot of shit, like if you know how to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But for me, iPhone just works. Right?
And Androids existed before iPhones did. I think.
Yeah. So my very first phone was an Android phone.
Everybody's very first phone was an Android phone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like when I first my very first phone was a fucking Razor, actually.
Yeah.
But iPhones did come out like when I transitioned from flip phone to smartphone.
I want to say it was like 2006.
Yeah. So when I transitioned from flip phone to smartphone, iPhone was out. Yeah. I got the HTC Thunderbolt or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't cave to iPhone. I got a 4S.
Yeah.
When the 4S's were barely just used. I think maybe one model after the 4S had come out. And then I was like, fuck this. Yeah. I'm Android. See? I'm staying Android for life.
Yeah.
And then now my wife convinced me that with me and her and Elena all having the same, like that life would be easier.
Yeah.
And
I like it.
And honestly,
I don't have any qualms with it. But back to
I like iPhones.
Back to fucking Verizon. Dude.
Yeah, Verizon.
They sent me a fucking letter, and all I could make out on this letter were the 2 pictures of our Apple Watches, because Allie's got an Apple Watch, and it was in Spanish. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So I didn't know what they were telling me, dude. It was all in Spanish. I'm like, okay.
Sent you
a whole letter in Spanish, and it had pictures of our Apple Watches. I'm like, okay, whatever. Which mine is supposed to be off of the plan anyway, right?
Sure.
So I'm like, okay. And Allie's like, yeah, I can't read it or whatever. Hindsight, I should have just called like anyone from work because like most of them can speak Spanish.
Right.
But I assume Android phones do this too. iPhone, if you have something in another language, if you just pull your camera up, it will have like little lines down, and you click that, and it'll highlight all, or it'll get all the text, and then you just hit translate, and it literally translates it for you, and you can read it, right?
Not bad.
So I fucking got on there, and I didn't know it even worked, right? I'm like, surely these phones are smart enough to do this. So I did that, translated it, and as my bill's going up, $5 a month per watch line, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? No wonder they sent it in goddamn Spanish.
Way to go.
They wanted me to fucking...
Way to go.
They probably assumed that I'd be like, fuck this, and threw it away, right?
Right.
No, dude, I fucking translated it.
Can't read no Spanish.
Fucking read it.
Can't read no Spanish. Man.
Send me this in American.
Whatever. Yeah, send it in American.
Send me this letter in American.
So
they should have sent it to you in the Wingdings font. You ever tried that out on Microsoft?
Couple comments here. Holly Barrett says Android is the best. Hi, Holly. You know we love you.
Holly Berry.
Thanks for the support, Holly.
Yeah, Holly Barrett. Android is the best. Brian York. What? His first phone was a track phone.
There you go. My first.
And track phone's not like a type of phone. Like it's just like the one you buy at Walmart.
Actually, funny enough, that was my first cell phone too. Yeah. So.
Was a track phone.
You know what my favorite phone I have ever owned was? The Nokia Twist, dude.
Your favorite phone?
My favorite phone I've ever owned in my life. So I had my very first phone was a Motorola Razr, right?
Yeah.
Who didn't have a Motorola Razr, right?
Everybody had a Motorola.
Yeah.
Motorola
so
Razr. That
that was my very first phone.
Yeah.
And it was awesome, right? Then
Sure.
I went from that to a Nokia Twist. So, and this is like before data and shit. Like now, basically, if you have to have like, not unless you're my dad, he still has a flip phone, but like it was before like apps and things were real big, right? Your phone was like texting and calling. That's
sure.
It. But the Nokia Twist was kind of like, I think you could get Facebook and shit on it, but it was literally a cube, dude. Like, and I don't know why I liked it so much. It was literally a cube like this big, right?
Right.
And it was all screen, and it had like a pass-through hole, which was the hinge, and you could flip it up, and then the screen was up here, and you had a full keyboard.
I remember those.
Yeah,
now that you mentioned that.
But the circle had an LED in it, right? So like, you could set people's. So like, if you text me, I could have it be a certain color. If I could change colors like by who texts me, right? So
yeah, right.
So like, if it was a girl that texted me, I'd have it purple, or if it was like my buddies, it'd be green or whatever.
Sure.
But it was just like the coolest phone ever. It was the dumbest fucking thing, right?
Right.
But it was just.
Well, there was all kinds of stuff too that used to get us back in the day, right? Like the first time you were able to get like caller ID.
Dude,
like
you know what phone was just like, okay, so Blackberries, I used to love Blackberries, right?
I never had a Blackberry.
I love Blackberries, but that Nokia Twist is my favorite. You know what phone was over fucking rated that everyone wanted, I feel like?
What?
The LG Envy.
Oh, dude, I love my Envy.
Yeah, dude, it's like a touchscreen order, but then you flipped it open and had the keyboard and shit. I feel like everyone wanted that phone.
I love my LG Envy,
I
dude.
could see it would be awesome, right? But
I was a big fan.
I think it's just overrated for like.
At the time, dude, that phone
was cool as fuck.
That phone was cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Now, looking back, if I had a flip up, so like, fuck you. Give me one solid brick that's all touchscreen. I don't want buttons.
Yeah,
I'll take some side buttons.
The computer in the pocket's the way to go, right?
Yeah.
So,
well,
right.
That's the thing, dude. It's like you have everything at your finger. Yeah, and my fucking fourth grade teacher, she looks like a fucking idiot now. You're never going to be able to just look this stuff up whenever.
Right.
Yeah, hey, listen.
You're not going to be able to use that phone.
I literally can look whatever I like. I'm fucking a genius.
It's at my absolutely, dude.
Fucking genius.
When
now.
I'm doing homework with Elena, like there's sometimes when it's like, hey, transpose this shit this way graphically, blah blah blah, and I'm like,
Chat GPT.
All right, what do you think? What do you think, Chat GPT?
Yeah, beep boop beep. I'm a fucking genius, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine if fucking Einstein had a computer like that, dude.
Well, I mean, so it's noteworthy that Einstein is the reason a lot of that information is available.
Okay, whatever, but imagine if he had more.
I don't think Einstein would have had the computer.
Yeah, you're right, dude.
So you know what I mean? Like,
I was gonna be like, what if the Egyptians had it? But they had aliens, dude. They
had aliens.
They didn't need a fucking computer. Dude.
Einstein, the best Einstein could do was like Da Vinci and Galileo and Magellan. And finally, he was like, these fucking guys don't know shit.
Yeah, he's like, calm down there, Nostradamus.
Right.
Yeah, dude.
I'm sure he said things like that.
Nostradamus.
Yeah, calm down there, Nostradamus.
Oh, Austin Wilson says the Razor was always the first. Hell yeah.
Dude,
LG Shine. Remember the LG Shine?
No, I don't think I ever had the LG Shine.
Yeah.
What was your favorite phone you've ever owned, Ruben?
I guess I never had a self-identity with a technological object like that.
Oh, God, he's one of those.
I know.
He's one of those.
That's like my dad. My dad.
He's one of those.
I try to send my dad pictures, right? Like, hey, here's a picture of Amelia or a fish or some shit, right? And he's literally got a flip phone still. He's like, can't see it. I'm like, get a real phone, Dad. Jesus fucking Christ.
My mom outlived her flip phone by 3 weeks. Seriously.
Hell yeah.
So, but
my dad, he literally goes and buys flip phones. That's what he likes. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
The flip phone.
He's fucking that. But all he does literally is call people and text.
But I
people.
mean, is there still even support?
Yeah.
For flip phones, like
you can literally go to the store and buy them still.
You can go to Dollar General in some places and like you can get a real cheap like prepaid plan.
Yeah.
That's like for people who are really on the down and out in life and stuff, or maybe people want a burner phone or something.
That's wild.
But yeah, like my dad, that's all he uses, dude. He just fucking does it. And then my grandma, she gets her phone every year off QVC. Like it's a smart.
Shut up.
No, dude. Listen to this. It's a smartphone, right? Like it's an Android, like it's a smartphone, right?
Right.
Old touchscreen, like awesome.
You can buy it the same place you can buy Esteban's guitar.
Exactly. Right. No, dude, no. Listen, $99 you buy it off QVC for $99, and it lasts for a year. Every year for $99, she buys this phone and uses it all year, and then just throws it out and gets a new one every year. It comes like it literally. I don't even know what the fucking plan is, but it lasts a year. Calls, text, data, whatever. It's a year's worth for $99.
And QVC just offers this up like it's nothing.
Yeah, and I don't know how, but my grandma's one of those people that see shit on QVC. Dude, fucking QVC, they have them old people's numbers, dude. They're like, hey, man, no one will buy this in the store, but I bet if we put it on TV late at night,
all right,
fucking sold.
Well, because they're either old or drunk or stoned or all of the above, right?
Well, and then all they got to do is put like, for 300 claims, there's only 50 left. And I'm like, fuck, everyone else wants it. Oh my God, here we go. I gotta fucking buy it.
Here we fucking go.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. QZ fucking C.
For you people on the live stream, you will notice that the view of our little podcast show has changed dramatically. I feel like so far it's better. I feel like there's a better, like more television like experience. There's no on-screen comments anymore, and that's because some of the shit you people say is just
a little out there.
Well,
shouldn't be on the screen, probably.
well,
That, and it was just difficult to do.
And that's saying something considering that you didn't have to adhere to the George Carlin 7 dirty words. The FCC was not going to come after you.
They were never going to come after me, but I definitely still want to respect the people that we're bringing on this show. This summer is going to be really good, first of all. For you guys that are longtime listeners of the Mind Snacks podcast, this summer is going to be really good, and I'm pretty jacked.
gonna be fucking wild.
Oh man, we have the best lineup of people coming this summer. I'm so jacked. It starts with this guy, Mr. Ruben Guthrie, and then it just keeps going all summer long. Mind Snacks podcast. Turn it over a new leaf, Tyler. We're gonna do things. We're gonna do things better,
dude. Speaking of leaves,
oh shit.
He's like David Letterman. He can find a segue
Yeah.
from the
Oh my God.
Speaking of
mundane
leaves,
thing.
I fucking planted a Japanese maple tree,
Yeah.
and I didn't know if they didn't get like a shitload of sunlight, their leaves turn green. Like they're the little trees with the red maple leaves on them.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if they don't get a shitload of sunlight, whatever, they don't get enough photosynthesis or whatever, and then their leaves turn it's still the same thing, but they just turn green instead of red.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I have like a fucking calico tree in my front flower bed. Pretty cool looking, but
Right.
I bought a fig tree, dude. I'm basically a farmer now.
Yeah, you are.
I got
So
chickens.
I think you're closer to being an arborist, actually.
I got chickens in
Yeah.
a fig tree, dude.
I didn't hear you had chickens.
Dude, fucking chickens. I'm building a coop. It's like a chicken mansion.
Are these chickens as pets or chickens as future food?
I mean, they're pet chickens, right? Like, I mean, I'm gonna have to eat them one day, probably.
right.
But like, they're
Don't name them.
They're pets. They're already named.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat
We
Marge
have
one
this
day. One day I'm gonna take Marge and I'm gonna fucking roast her up.
That's fucking
I'm gonna
weird.
fucking roast her up.
There's no way in hell that you could sit here and tell me that you could consume something that you know its fucking name.
Yeah,
you know
I
its
can.
fucking personality.
No,
There's no
I'm
way
not
in
gonna-
hell.
I'm not gonna kill it if
Do
she
you know how
dies when she
fucking
dies
weird
at
that
a
is?
ripe old age of fucking 10 or however long she
Okay.
lives.
well, but from what I've heard, the animals as they get older, the meat gets tougher.
She'll be an old tough bird. Dude, I owe it.
Tough old bird. Hey,
I owe it to her to fucking to eat her. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Oh, nothing. I'm just.
Yeah, dude, her name's fucking
Well,
Marge.
it's
Well,
called-
and Marge is. I can already tell Marge is a little fucking bitch, dude.
Bib Sutton says food without a name wasn't raised right.
See?
Yeah, I guess. Okay, fine.
Is that why we have names?
Factory farmed meat is BS. That's food without a name. I also named my chicken, says Holly Barrett. They were egg layers.
That's what mine is. It's for eggs, Ruben. That's what I was getting
That's
to.
what I thought you
No,
were
I'm
doing.
getting
Most of.
about to say. I mean,
So
hell,
if you ever, I should have a surplus of eggs. So if you ever need any eggs, just hit me up.
I'll tell you what. I'm willing to take a shot in the dark and say you probably make a mean eggs Benedict, or if you don't, you will learn how to. Correct.
Oh, dude, I can make a good eggs Benedict. My favorite thing with eggs, like farm fresh and nice ass eggs, is homemade pasta, dude. I roll pasta all the time, and like just crack an egg side by side, like an Eggland's Best, and then like a free range chicken egg, dude.
Yeah.
It's when you can physically see a difference, it's got to be way better. Like it's the flavor's better. Like it's just got to be something like worth eating, right? Like Eggland's Best. Like those chickens probably have never seen a ray of sunlight or anything.
I seriously need to try. I've never had a chance to try your cooking before.
Really?
And I'm about to say this is something I'm going to have to accomplish
Yeah,
at some
it's
point.
I mean, I'm not
hopefully the
saying like I'm like the most badass cook ever.
I will.
but
I will say this.
I'm a pretty good cook.
That dude can make some food.
I guess. Well, I mean, like, what makes you
Like-
like? Is a chef just like a self title? Like,
No, I think there's a certification for that.
I don't think there is.
Is there not?
No, like, I mean, like a lot of famous ass chefs that you know are self taught. Like, never went to culinary school. Or
Now,
anything.
are you much of a cook, Sean, or are you more of a drink server?
So no,
No, that ain't
So-
true, dude. You can make a fucking burger.
So I've been cooking more steaks. My wife appreciates the steak life that I've got a Blackstone at home, and I've been learning how to make good steaks on that. Putting together some sides, like doing some things. Like I it's not a can't cook situation. Like I can cook, I just don't. And a couple things factor into that. My wife is an exceptionally good cook. Sarah's a very, very good cook. We are well fed with my wife's food. But for me, like it's almost like when I say, like, I'll make dinner, it's always a gamble, right? Because I don't do that a lot. So it's always
it's
always
When you do make it, you got to make it count.
it's
right?
always a slight gamble.
might be getting hot box, might be eating.
Hey,
food,
you just never know.
Well,
you just
That's
never
like
know.
Allie, if she's making dinner, it's like, I mean, she can cook too, but it's like hamburger helper most of the time, which I fucking love hamburger helper, dude.
Hey, Austin Wilson says, Tyler, come cook at my wedding.
When is it?
When are you guys getting married, Austin? By the way, great to see a lot of my friends last night that came into the bar. The bar was busy last night.
Busy, dude.
Great times.
Who played last night?
Last night was Tim Scott. Tim Weissner.
Okay, yeah, I know him.
Very, very good.
Good dude. I like him.
Kelton says, I've had a few roosters have bred for a cock. I think that says fighting. They all had names. If you go to the Coliseum and your rooster loses, the winner takes the losing rooster as a trophy and they will butcher and eat it.
Yeah, dude.
I mean,
he's in the Philippines.
that's
right?
some Filipino shit.
That is, dude.
JD Clayston says, my hot dogs have a first name. It's OSCAR.
Oh, God.
We should have seen that one coming. We walked right into that
We walked
one.
right into that.
We
one,
absolutely
dude.
did,
God
dude.
damn it.
We did. So gonna take a quick break. Gonna quick stop real quick. Got to talk about a couple of people that make this show go round. All right. Just like Home Doggy Daycare, if you look. If you need a place to take your pets, okay, that you want them taken care of, you want them living in the house just like they live there. All right. They sleep in bed
Yeah.
with the owner if they want to. Now they're not forced to.
Yeah. It's not like
All
does
right.
not make it weird.
Just like Home Doggy Daycare. Find them on Facebook, just like Home Doggy Daycare. It's my mom's company. Full disclosure. Listen, if your pet wants to feel at home while you're away, it's just like Home Doggy Daycare. That's in the slogan. You might have to be away, but for your pet, it'll be, Tyler.
Just like home.
That's right. Just Like Home Doggy Daycare can be found on Facebook or on the web at justlikehomedoggy.com. Who else do I have to talk about? Oh, yeah, Edge Construction. The masters of the construction industry. Okay? You need something done, a little dirt work, a little site development. My man Brian Jones, he knows what's up.
They'll do anything.
These guys can do anything.
Concrete work. fucking
Concrete.
Whatever you need.
Yeah, the stuff, the good stuff. Get a hold of my man Brian Jones. Tell him the Mind Snacks podcast sent you. 812-343-3035. 343-3035. That's the number to call. Edge Construction. Wonderful people. Better work. Edge Construction is the way to go. Look, their name's on the studio. So who else should you call? No one. Edge Construction. 812-343-3035. Tonight we are with Ruben Guthrie. And Ruben, we want to learn a little bit about you. We want to know what you're all about. Now, of course, we know you're a musician. We know you're in politics. Do you consider it politics?
I mean, it is an elected office.
It's an elected office.
I have had the fortune of running unopposed.
Sure.
So I definitely don't have like the bona fides campaign wise, but
Right.
I mean, so I serve on the Township Advisory Board of Sand Creek Township here.
Who runs E-Town? Ruben.
Not exactly, but so to briefly explain to the listeners.
Tell me who runs E-Town.
Fucking Ruben, dude.
Ruben, bro.
Well, unless you ask Patrick, then Patrick runs.
Then
each-
Patrick runs that shit. But Township Advisory Board, talk about that.
So
what is that?
To explain to any listeners who may or may not know, every county, including Bartholomew, is divided into townships, and for various legal governmental purposes.
Geography.
Damn straight. And every township has a trustee who is responsible for handing out some emergency welfare, like your lights are about to get shut off, the water's about to get cut off. You know, these days the internet's going to get cut off. Whatever.
Government.
It's supposed to come and be sort of a stopgap to help you cover the bills in your time of need. There,
Right.
and it's usually people at very desperate straits that are coming to them. And,
Sure.
and so then because the trustees are operating off of local taxpayer dollars. Sorry, I've been fighting off allergies. I have to keep clearing my throat. the trustees have these days have to answer to an advisory board, and basically our job is to make sure the trustee isn't doing something really stupid with the money.
Sure,
we're lucky in my township. Our trustees pretty easy to work with, and it's not. It's a bipartisan deal that we do there too. But they. Because there have been trustees, in fact, there have been some ones here in Bartholomew County who have been in trouble for misusing funds.
Oh, dude, I'd embezzle the shit out of money.
Well, it would be your funeral because you have to record where all that money goes.
That's what I'm saying. I'd be making shit up, dude. I'd be like, pfft.
And so, basically, so for Sand Creek Township, for instance, usually, I mean, there's not to get too much into specifics, but there's welfare for whoever residents within the township. Now we have a pretty small population there, so that's not that many people. Right. But the fire department gets a fair amount of funding from that, so because for equipment updates, that sort of thing.
Sure,
and I think we can all agree we need that.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. So you're the guy that is kind of like checks and balances.
Yeah.
For the township trustee.
Right.
How many residents are in the township?
I can't remember the actual population. It's one of the. It's one of the smallest population townships in Bartholomew County. I mean, obviously, Columbus Township's like upwards of 50,000 or something like that.
Sure.
It's nowhere near that.
Okay.
I can't remember because E-Town is 500 people, I think.
Right.
And also, E-Town is also real close to the line with Rock Creek Township too. So I have to go back, and I should know where my map boundaries are, but I have to go back and actually see where those, because
politicians are scumbags.
and actually the fire station in E-Town serves 2 townships, right? Also, so we're split.
Yeah, Rock Creek Township doesn't have a fire department, correct?
Right. So because E-Town's close to the border,
right? That's a nice fire department, though. That station they have in E-Town is really nice.
It is, and in fact, a family friend of ours, Danny Carson, came in to see me at Ziggy's last. He was our mailman for a long time, and he was a volunteer fireman out there for many years.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, and Danny came and saw me play at my last acoustic show at Ziggy's. So I mean, you make lifelong friends in small community. And I'll tell you what, the E-Town fish fry is where it's at.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, the E-Town fish fry is no joke. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Like
You've been out there. So I enjoy the environment of a fish fry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
sounds like, hey man, you drop me a dog down in there.
Yeah. I
think at fish fries don't they also do tenderloin sometimes for people who don't like fish?
Yeah, they'll do.
Yeah, there's other food there.
It's just a
you can get like a grilled
of
cheese sandwich or something.
Yeah.
You know,
it's just like the camaraderie of a fish fry.
Well, and it's a fundraiser for the fire department.
Speaking of fish fries.
Oh shit.
We were driving to Las Vegas one time. Me and Jones.
From here?
Yeah. Long ass fucking drive.
I didn't know you'd made that drive.
Yeah, don't ever fucking do it. It sucks ass. But somewhere. So after you pass Topeka, Kansas, from Topeka, Kansas to Denver, Colorado, there's literal nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. So like we saw a sign and it's basically like, hey bro, if you need any gas, get it now because there's not a fucking station for a long time.
You see that in Utah too.
Yeah. So we stopped, right? And it was like a town like Hope. Because like the interstate turns into like doesn't even look like the interstate really anymore.
Right.
It just looks like fucking US
You're talking
30.
just there on 70?
I think it was 70. Looks just like US 31 almost. In those little ass places, right?
Right.
And we stop at this gas station and we pull in and there's a house right next door. And someone's like, hey, Ted, you got a customer. They were all having a fish fry. Like the whole town was at this person's house just having a fish fry. The gas station guy was just over there eating like, not mainly because everyone in the town or whatever was there, right?
Right.
So like we pulled in to get gas and then like he had to like leave the fish fry to come over and like do the pump stuff for us and then went back over, like carried the plate over and everything.
Hey, Ted!
Yeah, you got a customer. I'm like, what the fuck town is this, dude? But I mean, they were having fun, right? Like
Smallville, USA. Baby.
Yeah, they were having fun, dude.
Yeah. That's good stuff, though. Like, you kind of miss that kind of shit, though.
Yeah.
Like, like I guess being from a smaller town, it's kind of like that. And like I said, I was deeply ingrained in E-Town when I was younger. My mom still lives there. My mom actually commented that's her township. So one of your constituents is watching. So
hell yeah,
you might as well.
I hope I'm doing you proud.
Right. You might as well, just be fucking honest right now.
I mean, I
don't know if politicians are capable of that, but
it takes one to know one, right?
Hey, you know what? I was a failed politician, sir.
Not yet. There's still time.
Still time for what?
To be a politician.
Well, there's all the time to be a politician.
Dude, I think I'd be a good politician.
Really? What would you run for?
I don't know. Something easy, right? I think I'd help people pretty good.
Well, actually, being a member of a township advisory board is, if you're going to get your feet wet with an office, that's a good one to start with.
Yeah,
because,
sure.
It's a responsibility, but it doesn't consume your entire. Well, we have like 3 meetings a year most of the time, unless there's a constituent who wants to call a specific meeting for a specific reason. Then we schedule that. But usually we go over budgets, and we approve. But it's kind of pro forma stuff. The job's sort of laid out for you.
Yeah.
See, I could do something like that.
I feel like you totally could, actually.
I don't know. I feel like I'd need something with a title, like.
Well, and that was the thing for me. Like when I ran for mayor, like part of the appeal to that was like I didn't have to explain. Like, and I know, like when you tell people what you're doing, like you kind of have to explain, like what the hell that is.
Well, people when I tell people, they assume I'm the trustee. I'm like, no, I'm not handling that money.
But like when I ran for mayor, I didn't have to explain that to anybody.
So what are like the levels?
What do you mean?
Like a mayor, and then like there's like obviously levels.
Well,
below.
it kind of depends. So there's kind of 2 different in Bartholomew County. So like most counties, I would say not every county around, but Bartholomew County is more the norm, at least for Indiana, and I would assume for most of the Midwest.
Yeah,
is there's a city government and there's the county government,
right?
And so they sort of are sort of coexisting there. So like the county council in Bartholomew County it holds like an equal power that the mayor of Columbus does.
Right.
Okay, so I could be like a councilman.
The commissioners are kind of like the mayor.
Okay. I think it'd be cool to be a councilman, right?
Right.
That'd be cool.
Right.
Just tell everyone.
A lot of people told me I should run for council.
Do they get like robes and stuff?
No.
Not that I'm aware of.
Could I wear it? Could I wear that? What I'm talking about, dude.
You're acting like it's like the city council, like we're gonna go visit the tribunal and see if we can get our rations increased. Like,
yeah, dude. I want a fucking robe.
What science fiction movie are you running for council
know,
in?
Dude, but I feel like if you're a councilman, you need like a fucking robe.
You know what? I'm going to get robes for the Sand Creek Township Advisory
It's
Board.
a good idea. Ruben has adopted it.
Tyler has given us a good idea.
It's a good fucking idea.
And you know what? It will not cost the taxpayers a dime. I will buy them myself.
See, dude, I feel like if you're like anytime
you
you're
better
at a
make
meeting,
that promise now. You got a constituent watching.
Anytime you're at a fucking meeting, dude, and you have robes on, it's automatically way more serious and official. And people listen to what you say, right?
Depends on what kind of robe. If it just kind of looks like a bathrobe, then the serious level comes way down.
It's gotta be like one of them big, like long sleeve, like fucking, like the big wide sleeves and a hood, probably.
So we can't look like the dude from The Big Lebowski, right?
No. I mean,
I'm probably going to end up looking like Jeff Bridges as an old man anyway.
I mean, I wouldn't say can't. I would more go with probably shouldn't. But not can't. I mean, you can fucking
get
do
an
it.
erection on an airplane
Doesn't make it a good idea, but you can do it.
You can do it.
To be honest, I don't think people would care enough about that. So, but
what's good, Sven? So one of the downsides is I get the comments now. Tyler relies on me to relay the comments, the chat from the stream.
I mean, normally if I was on the Wi-Fi, I could have it pulled up.
Right, but you can't pull it up.
But my problem is I can't pull it up.
Can't pull it up,
which is weird.
But something else I want to ask you and talk about. Obviously give you the opportunity to talk about and promote your music.
Well, so I have a number of different methods I go about doing that. So I do play music as a full-time job. Yes, for anyone listening, it is an achievable thing to do. That's something, and I think
it's remarkable.
Well, to be honest, I mean, I certainly appreciated the encouragement from friends like you, et cetera, on that. But the truth is, a lot of it is just a matter of, I mean, it's going to sound cliche as hell, but it's a matter of you putting in a lot of hard work, but also knowing how to put the right pieces of the puzzle together. And what I mean by that is, if you just, first of all, you want to set every business has a mission statement, right?
Right.
you don't have to get that corny with yourself on that, but you can sort of think to yourself like, okay, what is it I actually want to achieve with what I'm doing here? I really like doing this music thing, whatever method that is.
Sure.
How do I turn this into a venture that can be a full-time job? And so then for someone like me, so my background was my first instrument, and probably the one I still consider myself the most proficient at, is drums.
Okay.
I was the drummer and lead singer of a band called Those Valiants back in, we started back in 2011. It was me and a few friends of mine, and I was a drummer and lead singer. We were doing a myriad of covers for stuff as far back as like the Stones and the Who and Zeppelin, Sabbath, Cream, that sort of thing, but also a bunch of stuff that we were listening to as high school kids in the early 2010s, like the Foo Fighters and Kings of Leon, and Kings of the Stone Age and the Black Keys, and stuff like that.
Good stuff.
Cream.
And so we got to the point we won the teen council battle of the bands in 2013, and we got to open for REO Speedwagon back when they came here. And
so you opened in that show.
I was.
That's awesome.
I did. There's actually video. If you ever just look up Those Valiants Rock the Park, it should be on there.
I remember that band name. That rings a bell.
I remember the Battle of the Bands thing.
I was 19 years old at the time.
Yeah.
I looked something like this too, believe it or not.
So what was the year on that?
2013.
2013. See, we were done by then. God. Like, I hate knowing that, like, when I played, our peak was from 2008 to 2012. Mm-hmm. And, like, the fact that was 12 years ago blows my fucking mind. Because it feels like
he wants
yesterday.
to get a fucking reunion going.
Yeah, I mean, I get that he wants to get a reunion going, but, we've talked about this.
Show.
We've talked about this several times, Tyler. I'm here. I think Damon, our drummer, lives in Brazil. Catfish, our bass player, lives in Montana.
Like Brazil, Indiana?
Brazil, Indiana, yeah.
I say Brazil country might be a little harder to get him here.
It would be tough.
He's probably mostly speaking Portuguese now.
Mostly speaking Portuguese.
How many was there? 3 of you?
4.
Okay.
There was 4. It was
Who's
4
the fourth?
piece. A guitar player that lives in Bedford.
See, that's all achievable, dude. For one night, we can put a few tents up, boarding.
Well, but here's the part that I know Sean's going to say next. It's rehearsing to sound good.
No, I think if we got back together,
like a well-oiled
I think if we got back together right away, I think it wouldn't take long at all. I will tell you this about that band. It's that I've never, ever, I know I was in it, so there is a bias there. I've never seen a band as tight as we were. I've never seen it. I came close this past Saturday night. There was a band at Ziggy's this past Saturday night. These guys are probably, they're all at least in their 60s, some close to 70, maybe some over 70. They're called the Monarch Band. I was like, okay, cool. Another old man band. Let's, play some tunes. These guys are good.
Did they kill it? What'd they play?
Yes, they killed it, dude. Classic rock band. A lot of Georgia Satellites, a lot of Leonard Skinner. But they nailed it.
A little change in my pocket.
Hell yeah. And it was just like, they're just old up there grooving, with their old selves, like still rocking out. But it was so good.
How many times did he say old in describing that?
Dude,
band?
you have no idea.
No, I believe it.
Well, and that sort of comes to the further points of the story. So, and again, for people who watched the show, we went over some of these points last time I was on, but bears repeating. So, when we did that band thing for a few years, it fizzled out like bands do sometimes.
Right.
And, then I worked as a substitute teacher for a while, and I had to get up at the crack of dawn and boss around bratty kids and stuff.
What kind of substitute teacher do you think Ruben was?
Dude, the best kind. Wheeling in a TV saying, "Hey kids."
I mean, let's
Bill Nye the Violence Guy.
Let's just roast him right now. Hey. Substitute. Like Ruben walks in the classroom. Okay, set the scene. You are in we'll say 7th grade.
Middle schoolers are Satan's spawn, so I did that exceedingly rarely.
Okay, well, what did you do most of? Elementary school? High school? Okay.
I could see him being like Jack Black in School of Rock, dude.
It's sophomore year. You've already found marijuana.
Yep.
And you agree that it's amazing.
Yep.
And then you're coming into just after lunch, eyes red as shit.
Okay.
6th period. Let's say Ruben's your substitute for world civilization class.
Okay, what's that?
It's like social studies.
Yeah.
What's that? Why couldn't you just pick something good like geography or something?
He went to Hauser because not everyone took geography.
Not everyone took fucking civilized studies or whatever you just said.
Yes, they did. Everyone literally took world civilization.
I didn't.
You'll be happy to know, Tyler, your old principal at Hauser is a regular at some of my shows.
Who?
David Winton.
I don't know who that is. Wait.
He was a principal there for years.
Yeah, mate, when though?
I can't remember the timeline.
I think
he still actually works there, helping in the life skills department.
I think my principal might have been Tim Stevens.
So we set the scene. Ruben walks in the room, writes his name on the board.
Okay.
Mr. Guthrie.
Mr. Guthrie.
Mr. Guthrie.
That is what they called me.
And what'd you say when you opened up? What'd you open with?
Well, depending on how worn out I was that day.
Okay, say you were fresh as fuck.
I'd be like, all right, people, this is our class for today. I got to go through, read through attendance, read through the names,
We'll call the names. Call out roll right now.
And saying so then I'm reading out the names. I don't remember anyone's names.
No. Just do roll call for who's in here.
Oh, well, okay. So Sean Burton. Not here. Got it. So, and Tyler Me.
Present.
That's more like it.
He put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. What a bitch.
He learned from Christopher Walken, didn't he? But anyway, and so
he's already frustrated. He's shaking.
He's like fucking taking me back.
Well, it's one of these things, and actually,
we're gonna make him cry. You want one of my 2-week-old Teddy Grahams?
Dude, I kind of do.
They're stale as hell, aren't they?
Oh, probably not.
God damn it!
Well, yeah, I guess
the bag was an open bag.
I guess the bag was open.
So they're definitely stale as hell. Then,
how you doing over there, buddy? How the Teddy Grahams? Are those the Teddy Grahams or the
Are they stale
Photograms?
as hell? That's the question.
No, dude. Shit.
Yeah, it fell down there.
Yeah, they're not. They might be stale, but they're actually softer than they were before.
No way.
It can be that way.
I'm pretty sure that's dangerous.
I think they absorb the little things. I don't remember if these got to be the fake ones.
Yeah.
Well, and so I did the subbing. And actually, if it paid better, it wasn't a terrible job, although I did not love getting up at the crack of dawn to have to go do it. I don't know why we make these poor kids suffer and get them before the sun is up.
I've never understood that about anything that they do, about like work at factories. I don't know why they start at 6 fucking a.m. School, why does school start at 8? You want to get the best out of a kid? Let him sleep in 9:30
or 10.
Yeah.
Well, I said there's like at more of the East and West Coast. A lot of times, like they're not getting out of school till like 4:30 or 5, but they start later. So I mean, they treat it more like the regular, like a normal work, like a 9 to 5 sort of deal,
Right. Yeah. 9 to 5 is definitely a thing of the past, though.
Yeah, and maybe for the better, maybe for the worse. Kind of depends
5.
on the situation. But are you 5 days a week? But
George eats old gray rats and paints houses yellow equals geography. Hold on. What's GEO? Geography. Wow.
Hell of an acronym. That's impressive.
Yeah.
But and then I started picking up the acoustic gigs as a side job while I was playing. Because one thing you learn, and something that our gracious host Sean Burton, I'm sure, understands better than the average person, is it's hard to make money playing drums full time.
It's hard to make money. Yeah. Playing music full time, period, is hard, especially when you have an instrument. Like if you can't go solo.
Shitty flute.
You can do shitty flute.
It,
I've got 2 recorders in my house. Don't fucking tempt me.
Yeah.
What I'm saying though is, like, you can't take a drum set to a solo acoustic gig and be like, all right, guys, be ready to have your faces melted. And then just start. Like, it doesn't work like that. Yeah. But when did you pick up guitar?
I mean, I sort of picked it up. So the very first, I had some piano lessons whenever I was a kid.
We all started on piano.
And I played, I played like percussion in the school band programs. I played drums in the jazz band at East.
Yeah.
And then, which of course you have to sort of retrain your brain that way, because it's funny because when you're playing like rock drum beats, and I'm giving a very miming demonstration here, but like you have to kind of sit like emphasis on your right foot and left hand.
Right.
Whereas with with jazz drumming, the standard way to go. Again, there's no technical right and wrong, but you're writing on the right symbol and writing with so it's your right hand and left foot there instead of right foot, left hand. Right. So you have to kind of reach. I remember Kenny Aronoff, if you know who he is. He was Mellencamp's drummer for years.
Okay.
He actually was got a degree from the IU School of Music in jazz studies, playing percussion. So he's playing all this complicated jazz stuff. And then, Mellencamp's getting big and needs a drummer. And he said, I really had to retrain my brain just how to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, the thing hurts so good, right? Right. He said that it actually took some real effort to do that. And
it's hard to do.
Well, and I remember Nora Jones kind of talked about a similar thing because she was into this really intricate jazz stuff. When she goes to record that breakthrough first album of hers, "Come Away with Me," don't know why and stuff. The one that she swept all the Grammys for and everything. She said, I really had to sit down and think. I don't go to the 9th or the 7th there. Just play a straight chord there.
Sure.
And that's more difficult to do than because you get used to doing things a certain way. But anyway, we're sidetracked from that. So I took some piano lessons, did percussion, school band, everything. Did jazz band in high school, etc. I kind of picked up guitar along the way just because it was something. I like playing songs and like being able to kind of do it myself.
Right.
I didn't pick up guitar till I was 17, and my dad had always played, and him and I would play some. I took lessons from Max McGuire, local legend around here. Good
legend.
And a good family friend there, Max. If you're listening, more power to you. But,
great dude. Absolute great dude.
And then, but I just kind of picked it up for my own enjoyment because I like learning songs and, just learn how they work there. And then you learn is what you learn doing that is you can there's actually money to be made going out playing. If you play guitar or like you play like electronic piano or something like that, you can carry off a show yourself.
Right.
And you can actually make real money doing that.
Absolutely.
And I won't say you're going to get filthy rich or anything, but if you can do that and you can at least carry a tune and not sound like a squawking chicken or something like that, then you're at a financial advantage over a lot of people.
I would say, as a guy who is, I've seen your show obviously several times.
I'd say more than several at this point. But
I show up as a guest on the last song at your shows, which I appreciate.
It's always fun.
You have such a unique sound that you don't sound like anybody else.
Which is funny because a lot of times I'm trying to sound as much like the original artist. I'm trying to cover as much as possible.
Well, I get that. But as local artists go, as local solo acoustic artists go, you don't play anything, like you don't really even play the same songs they do.
And that's somewhat intentional on my part. I don't mean that in a contrary sort of way. Like, they're playing that song, so I'm not going to.
Sure.
Fuck you,
Right.
But it's one of these things where there is some real agency to zigging when others zag.
Right.
Because that way you're not boring your audience to tears with the 18 millionth version of freaking Wagon Wheel out there.
So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. You gonna join me or not? Why?
I don't know.
Well, you know who gets royalties on that song is Bob Dylan.
Why? When you sing, I started singing. I thought you were gonna join.
Not that one time.
Is it because I didn't sing Taylor?
No, dude. I was picking some chocolate bear out of my tooth. That's the main reason I didn't.
Poor guy. Are you good now?
Yeah. Well, kind of. It's still in there.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put you off camera for a few minutes. You go fucking nuts. Get that chocolate bear.
I'm good enough.
And actually flossing, not the dance flossing.
No, look at him though. He's going nuts trying to get that bear out.
You know, like what I'm talking about? Like it just gets like
trust me.
in there, dude.
Oh, absolutely.
A few weeks ago, I had a pizza. I'd been to a steak place, and the steak was really good, and it got stuck right between my front teeth.
Yeah, dude.
It was one of these deals, and I'm sitting there. I had to play a show because I'm sitting there kind of like pushing on my front teeth while I'm playing and everything there. And
dude.
But so I did both the substitute teaching thing and the acoustic shows and stuff. As I only had like 3 or 4 places I was playing. I think Ziggy's was one of them.
Sure.
I had started playing that. And then COVID hits, and both those jobs go kaput for a while. And I did pretty well on the unemployment side of things when it came to subbing. And, then I was kind of at a point for a couple of different reasons where I didn't really want to go back to it. I wanted to figure out something else. So, but the restaurants were slowly opening back up and wanting people to come play. And I said, look, as long as you keep me safe, I'll show up and do my thing.
Sure.
And
now,
so,
were you worried? How worried were you?
Well, at the time,
after COVID, like that things were going to be unsafe.
It kind of depended on the situation. So I was living with my mom at the time, who was in her mid 60s and had some respiratory issues in the past. So I did have something to be worried about there. But and look, when you're playing solo by yourself, you're kind of away from people anyway, so that kind of takes care of that problem for you. But once I got my vaccine, then I felt more relaxed about that. Right. And so then, but even before, but most of the places were pretty good. Actually, I played a lot of outdoor places in that time period too. And in fact, Sarah Lane, like I talked about last time, Sarah Lane kept me in. I played every Friday night at the Landing at Sarah Lane for 2 years. Right. At one point. So, and I still play a couple dates a year there.
That keep you going.
Yeah, really.
You get a solid gig like that, it'll keep you going.
You're right. And so then I was doing that, and even just playing the few places I was, I noticed, I'm making almost as good or better money playing a gig once or twice a week as I am pulling a 40-hour week being a substitute teacher. Right. And so then I thought, well, what the hell? I could actually turn this into a job where I actually like what I'm doing, and then I could, make real money doing something that I actually want to do. And so then I started doing that. I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I've got a decent amount of money saved up. I can afford to try to push this deal forward as is.
Shit, yeah.
And so then I just, at first what I did was I started hitting up, because everyone tells you business is all done on the internet. In my line of work, that's kind of bullshit. Not entirely, but there are some places that'll book you cold off the internet, but not very many.
So I know for a fact, just from firsthand experience, that the best marketing you can do in music is to show up at the right place at the right time when the guy who you need to talk to has a minute with his calendar and an open date. Like, if you could perfectly nail it every time somebody cancels a gig and you walk in right there, you're 10 minutes after. His band just canceled. You're a new guy. You're trying to get a booking. You're trying to make your name. He's like, yeah, fucking 2 Saturdays from now. What are you doing? That's the best way to do it. And I know, because I am that guy on the other side.
You know what I remember with you guys at Ziggy's there, because Nate had me doing some acoustic nights there and stuff. But I remember you guys weren't having the full bands back in yet, so you had me come play a couple Saturday nights there. I remember. Right. And which that was kind of fun, honestly, because I kind of treated it more like a band. So I was playing more hard rock and stuff, and then it was fun there too. And then, I'm going along doing this thing, and one day I bump into my friend Greg Hedges of Brown 25 fame. And he lives one street over from my dad. And so I was driving over to my dad's one day, I think, to watch a Colts game or something. And Greg's out walking his dog, and we're standing there talking, and I hadn't seen him in a little while. And so I was telling him, I'm giving this full-time music thing a shot, which he did once upon a time. He had a band called Buzzy Jones for a while he played with, and back like late 80s, early 90s, like they were touring around regionally and sometimes around the country too. And anyway, so, we were kind of commiserating about the struggles there. Then a couple of days later, Greg texts me. He goes, my buddy Bo Lawson has a band. They're called Another Fine Mess, and they're looking for a singer these days. Do you mind if I give them your name? I said, well, what the hell? I'll talk to him and see how that goes. So Bo and I had texted for a little bit. Funny enough, around that time, I went and played a wedding for the son of the owner of Saraland. Okay. And I was like being the background music. I'm playing like all the romantic love songs I know and stuff. It was kind of cool because I was able to, they kind of trusted me to pick
Late in the evening.
I'm trying to remember what all I know.
Clothes to wear. She puts on her makeup.
I have played that song before.
I don't know that. I don't know.
It's Eric Clapton, Wonderful Tonight.
I only know bits and pieces.
You would recognize it if you had the guitar part of it.
Yeah.
I won't sing it too much because I don't want Sean to get flagged for this. But anyway.
And if she asks me, do I look all right?
And I say yes.
You look wonderful tonight. Was that too much to ask?
That's the only part I really know.
Was that too much to ask?
No. It's a lot, but it wasn't too much.
I mean, you did well.
Funny enough, though, at that wedding.
Killed it.
I see a guy kind of looking at me at the audience in there. I'm like, I've seen this guy somewhere before. Guy named Steve Litzy comes up to me.
Oh yeah, Steve Litzy. I love that dude.
And so then he comes up. He said, "Man," he said, "that sounded pretty good." He says, "You play with any bands?" I said, "Well, funny enough, I just got hit up to go play with this band, Another 5 Minutes." He goes, "Motherfucker, that's the band I play." And so I'm like, hell, this is a sign. So I think like a week or two later, I went and tried out with them, and it went pretty well at that point. But at that point, I was still trying to figure out like how this solo career of mine was working, because I was still trying to figure out how the booking stuff worked. And I was kind of in like, do I have room for a band? And then Bo and I sat down and talked for a while. And he's like, well, look, we're playing about this many dates a year at this many places. I'm like, oh, well, hell, I could squeeze that in there. And I hadn't played in a band in a few years. And I've never just been a pure front man. And we're getting bright all of a sudden.
The Lord said, let there be light. And he has blessed us with the light.
So it kind of became a new challenge for me at that point. But I took it on. And then right around the time I started playing with them, my solo booking started going nuts. Because, again, I started hitting, like you were talking about, is I learned the hard way. You got to hit the pavement. So what I would do is I would do a Google search. Now, obviously, it's not 100% accurate when you do that. I'd say, just off the top of my head, music bars in Shelbyville or something like that.
Right.
And then I would go look through, see what I could deduce off the Facebook pages or, that whatever. And then I would just I'd say on Tuesday, I'm going to go there. I'm going to drive around to every place around there and see if I can catch someone there.
Right.
And certainly my batting average was not 1,000, but it was a lot higher than it was when I was just trying to go cold off the air. I got to the point, I sent some messages to so many places on Facebook. They stopped sending my messages at one point.
Oh, wow.
Which, of course, which was annoying as hell, because I'm like, what? How am I supposed to do this job if I can't message anybody?
He got flagged as a stalker.
Yeah. Well, I did. Well, actually,
like, wow, bro, leave them alone.
Actually, what it was I had a copy and paste message because I didn't want to type out the same shit. My name's Ruben Guthrie. I do this. So I had a copy and paste. I
flagged as spam.
They thought I was a spam bot, is what it was.
Potential spam.
Potential spam.
Yep.
But I'll tell you what, and I'll tell you the story. So those who have seen me do my solo acoustic thing at Siggy's, now anyone who knows me longer than a few minutes knows the Foo Fighters are one of my favorite bands in the entire fucking universe. I mean, like they are for millions of other people too, right? And so at one point, I started playing Everlong at one of my shows, and Buddy Boy here kind of jumps up on
that guy.
Yeah, that guy there, and he jumps up on stage at one point and says, "Dude, can I?" Because I started in the intro riff on that. He goes, "Can I sing it?" I'm like, "Okay, sure." And so then we started doing that, and it's been kind of a tradition ever since.
Hello, I've waited here for you.
I don't know that one.
Everlong. Yeah,
it's a great song. You
could ever feel this.
I think the only Foo Fighter song I know is Hero or whatever. My Hero. My Hero. I think
it's a great one, but not a good one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's a great song, but
yeah.
not one that I would jam out to.
Yeah. I don't know.
Everlong, I could play Everlong.
I probably know of them.
Well, and so that's how that tradition got started, guys. And then Sean and I sort of got to know each other a little bit better through that process too. And now here we are.
Well, come be on my podcast.
He's like, Sean gets up. Can I sing? Ruben's like, get the fuck off the stage. He does like wishes to get the fuck off.
Well, I knew enough about him at that point that he had some idea of what he was doing. I actually, periodically, there are people who get drunk and brave at these things, and hey man, hey man, hey
brother, you got any Skinner?
Hey man, I can sing.
Or my favorite one is when they say, "Can I come play your guitar?" I'm like, dude, I have never seen you before in my life. That's how I make my life's living.
Right.
I cannot just let any old willy-nilly off the street come and pick up my guitar.
Can I play those drums?
Oh, jeez.
Let me play those drums.
Can I play them?
Well, and again,
and every time someone does it, they're yelling exactly like that.
Oh my God, I've seen it.
For no reason.
Weekend after weekend, year after year, I've seen the same shit. They say, hey man, you guys know Freebird? You don't even like Freebird. I know, but do they know it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just like, what the fuck
whether
are
I
you
like
doing?
it or not ain't your problem.
Right.
That's none of your concern.
Right.
And so for me, a pro tip for any audience members going to listen to your favorite bar band, whether it's at Ziggy's or any other bar in America, one thing you definitely don't want to do is go up to a band or the solo store and say, you should really stop playing X song or whatever. I'm thinking, I mean, unless what they're doing is like truly offensive or something like that, then because I mean,
have people done that to you before?
Oh yeah,
really?
Oh yeah.
Told you to stop singing a song.
You should stop playing this song.
Oh yeah, they have, and it's one of the. I mean,
Listen, it's just one of those things, man. I like Patsy.
Every time I hear Brown Eyed Girl, it reminds me of my fucking
I like
ex-wife.
Patsy Cline so much, and it's like seeing a dude do it. It fucking ruins it for me because I know you do Patsy Cline.
Well, because you know who wrote Crazy?
Yeah, I do know who wrote Crazy.
That'd be Willie Nelson.
That's right.
The man, the legend. There's nothing.
I just
myth
can't
about that
imagine
guy.
going up to a guy who was playing music, who was playing a show, who was doing anything art form wise, and being like, "You should do it different."
Hey,
Well,
have you ever thought about
my
not
thing too.
playing
I've
that
never
song?
felt as an audience member.
Right.
I have never felt that entitled. I've never thought once because trust me, there are friends of mine, bands I've known for a long time. They play songs that aren't my favorite, but but I'm like, you know what? It's working for them, and they're playing plenty of stuff I like too.
Yeah.
If they're liking what they're doing there and they're doing a good job of it, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and not only that, like if you don't like it, fucking don't go.
Yeah.
Like
If you don't chew big
come to
red
my
gum,
show. I
then
didn't.
fuck you.
I didn't ask you to come to my show.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I want you here.
And I'll admit, now there are times where I get a little contrary too, because I do, for people who've seen me play before, I have kind of a whole shtick I do about my public service announcements where I go through my social media plugs.
Yeah, yeah.
I remind them to tip the bartenders, and I say, like, oh, yeah, if you just feel like you have way too much money, I got this thing right here that might solve my tip jar there.
Yeah.
And there are times where I go through that, and I'll be like halfway through that spiel, and people are like, how about you shut up and sing for a little bit?
Yeah.
Which I'm like, let's talk for another half hour. Got it, buddy.
Yeah,
you know?
right. Hey, speaking of those spiels, man, I got to go through my social media
Yes,
spiel.
do
I
it.
mean, you should follow the Mind Snacks podcast on the YouTube with all the other Second String Media productions at Second String Media on YouTube. Or if you want to get Mind Snacks wherever you are, in your car, in your bathroom, at the store, I'm telling you, Spotify. Spotify's got it. iTunes podcasts, Apple podcasts, whatever the fuck it's called. Got it.
Yep.
Got it. Listen to us on Spotify and iTunes and even Google Podcasts. Anywhere you get your podcast media,
Take that, Joe Rogan.
we will be there. We
that,
will be
Joe
there.
Rogan.
Spotify gave him a lot of money. He's not taking shit from me. like, let's just be real. He's not taking shit from me. Okay.
Honestly, I just kind of threw that in there.
Yeah, which I appreciate. But he's not taking shit from me.
Oh, but
That's the real truth.
But again, that's one of these things also where I've never felt that in going back to the point I was talking about.
The entitlement.
I've never felt and even as like an audience member at a show I'm paying tickets for or something, I'm there to go to see what that artist does. Now, if they show up like half drunk or something
Right.
like that and they're doing a pitch for that's a different sort of deal because they're not taking their end of the bargain seriously.
Oh, right, for
either.
sure.
You know, but for the most part, again, if you go to see someone do their thing, you just let them do their thing. Now, if it's a show, and look, I mean, you know me well. I take requests from people.
Oh, yeah.
If I know the song and they want to hear it, most of the time
You've not once played my request.
Which was?
Don't believe me, just watch. I want to hear Uptown Funk.
I don't think you've ever actually asked me for that before.
I have.
Ruben's like, I don't think you've ever asked me that. And Sean's like, yeah, you're right. I haven't, but I thought about it.
I have
so long.
absolutely asked you for that, just like Tyler's never beaten me in Flippy Cup Tacto.
Okay, then that means he's never asked you for it because I've only ever beaten him.
my God.
Here's the thing. I don't think I can get the Bruno Mars thing down just right there, but
Right.
it's an interesting suggestion. I mean, and you know what? I'm sure there's someone out there who does do that.
Dude, so here's the thing.
That's like a Lonesome Crow song.
And this is one thing that I will tell you, Ruben, is your style, like I said, is so unique that I think anything you did in your particular style, where maybe you got away from it. I don't want to be that guy that's entitled enough to tell you how to do your show.
You're you're good. Don't worry.
But like anything that you did that was in your style, like your particular style of playing and singing, like I think it'd be unique and cool. And I respect the shit out of you for what you do.
And I want to make a distinction here also. Ideas of songs to play are not that's not bad. I mean, that's a more positive angle. Like, you know, hey, I like what you do. Maybe
Yeah.
try this one too
Right.
and see how that goes or something. Like I've done that to bands and stuff before. I'll be like, oh man,
I've been
you
here
guys play-
3 hours, didn't hear one Morgan Wallen song.
Jesus fucking Christ. You know any Pink?
I mean, Pig's very good at what she does, but I don't know how to play it.
Lonesome Crow learned a Pink song for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not saying I'm not saying you have to learn.
I guess
I'm not saying you have to learn Pink, but I'm just saying like they do it well, right?
I guess he knows what Tuesdays he's coming to Ziggy's.
I like Pink.
And I play anything.
Derek, I believe you can do some Bruno, my man, because I know. God, what song was it, Derek? What song was it? And what was our damn band name? It was me, Derek Schubert, Josh Hamilton, and I think Jordy Cox formed a boy band at Ziggy's. Karaoke night. Boom. The four of us killed it. Can't remember what the song was. Can't remember what we named the band. That's been so many years ago. I believe pre-COVID. So everything that happened pre-COVID is just shit now.
PC.
Right. It's gone.
But, so I do this solo acoustic thing. And, of course, one thing I'm working on at this point is getting my drumming chops back up, too, because it's been a couple of years since I've been playing drums in groups and stuff. And just for my own benefit, I want to keep it back. Yeah. One of these days, I'd like to play drums in a band whenever that happens. And it's one of these things of where it's just something. It's a different way for me to exercise that outlet. But
sure.
I mean, I'm very fortunate this year that I'm a lot of the, because one of the most frustrating parts of doing what I do for a job is going and chasing around booking people.
Oh my God!
I'm lucky. Work. I'm lucky. You guys are, trust me, so much easier to work with than a lot. Sure. And that's not me blowing smoke up your ass because we're sitting here.
Oh no,
it's
They're smoking my ass.
Trust me, for
I feel it.
But
I feel this.
But for you and Nate both, I can pretty much go and go, hey, you booking yet? No, come back 2 weeks. Come back 2 weeks. All right, now we're booking. It's that simple.
Yep.
And so for the most part here in Columbus, I don't have too much trouble there. But probably because most people know me because I've lived around here most of my life. It's when I go other places, or my favorite one is when I have to email. Once in a great while, there are places that answer emails, and I will all credit due to Tom O'Shea, the CEO of the O'Shea's franchise.
Right.
He's one I can always count on, answer email. And there's others who do a good job that way. But for the most part, if someone gives you an email address, that's about this close to getting
they're not booking
sentence. You. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
hit me up on my AOL.com email and we'll get right back to you.
I lost my AOL disc. I don't got no time left.
We will get right back to you. I have to say something.
What?
God, look at me.
I can't really see it.
I gotta say, these cameras make our facial hair look very pronounced.
When do you play? When do you play at Ziggy's next?
Yeah, talk about that.
The next time, in fact, I will pull up my calendar right in my. I went for years without using my calendar on my phone, and now
what'd you do?
They're your teachers always like, you're never just gonna have a calendar in your pocket. Yeah,
well, I mean, to be honest, I wasn't busy enough I could just remember when I was supposed to play somewhere. It was that good, but I am 30 years old now, so
you think that? I'll tell a fun story about thinking I had it all in my memory.
I'm at Ziggy's acoustically on Tuesday, June 11th, and another fine mess is there on Saturday, July 13th.
Here's a quick story. I was the year was 2013. I was on my couch in Franklin, Indiana, where I lived with my ex-wife, and we are sitting there watching our show, whatever TV show that was.
Big Brother.
Great story. Whatever it
Survivor.
We were big into Dancing with the Stars. But anyway, irrelevant. Laying on the couch, watching my show, about to pass out. I get a phone call. It's Nick Graham's. Hey, bud, what's your ETA?
For what?
About 45 minutes, probably, bub. We're good. All right, cool, man. We'll see you in about 45. I didn't know what I was answering. I had forgotten that I was DJing the Amazing Joe's anniversary party that night. But out of just pure instinct, I 100% was like, yeah, I'll be there in about 45. Just click. And then I stood up and I was like, what the fuck is oh. Now, I was missing a couple of pieces of my PA. So I had to not only get from Franklin to Columbus, I had to make a couple stops and chase down my PA. Oh. So when you talk about not writing shit down, that about got me good. Because I definitely, a couple stops, called him on the way. Hey man, I'm a few minutes behind, but I'm coming. Like, we're good. He's like, oh man, we got plenty of time. No big deal. No bones about it. It was like 5 years later before I ever told him that was what was going on that night. Finally, I was like, hey, dude, I got to be honest with you.
Dude, Nick, I went in there. Mother's Day. Me and Allie took my grandma in there because my mom is in Florida with my brother, and we went in there. And Nick like picked me a ribeye steak because he knows I'm a ribeye guy, right? He picked me a ribeye steak, and that was probably one of the best ribeye steaks I've ever had.
It's the best steak in town.
At any steak. No, I'm saying at any ribeye steakhouse I've ever gotten a steak at.
Oh wow,
that was a contender for one of the best ones.
Oh wow,
yeah, dude, it was a fire ribeye.
That's on the Amo level.
Yeah, it was a fire ribeye, dude.
Nice,
like perfectly cooked. All the fat was rendered perfectly, all perfectly. Dude, it was phenomenal steak.
But I'll tell you what, but yes, these days, especially for all the different things I do these days, I have to have my, my phone calendar. It's one of these, and I keep like 3 of them.
Yeah. You know? So like with my cooking stuff, I never forgot anything, but it's gotten to the point now where it's picking up so much that I ordered a day planner, and like
you actually have like the big calendar and everything.
Well, I just ordered like the notebook day, like it's like the whatever you can do, like day and month, whatever it is. But I got that, and I go and write down the date, and I write their name, like their number, and like their food that they want, right? So I don't forget any of it.
Well, yeah, because that's the other thing is I got to remember, is this a solo show? Is this an AFM show? Or am I playing with my buddy Albert Dalting, who plays guitar? Him and I do duo sets. We play the Slippery Noodle every so often.
That's awesome, man.
But so you can get Albert with our friend Holly Barrett, who's on the chat.
That's right, Holly.
Fusion, both acoustically and electrically. And we do that. Of course, then my dad and I play together sometimes, and so then, and so I always have to keep these things kind of straight there. And I'll tell you, who one person, we were talking about this before the show, and I mentioned about Max. I was talking about with the McGuires. Max taught me how to play. Barbara taught me how to do the business side of things.
Right.
And because that's kind of, loosely speaking, that was sort of their roles in the acts they've had over the years and everything. And Barbara was the one who talked about, look, here's how you want to talk to these people. Here's about, how much of frequency and rotation you want to try to get out of them. If this thing doesn't work here, go over, like that sort of thing, Right. And so every time I always tell people, I say, and there are times where people ask me about the McGuires. I say, well, if you like what I do, Max taught me how to play. Barbara taught me how to do business.
Right.
So I say, if you want to get them in there, that's what you need to know there. So
for sure.
But the point being is, I remember growing up, most people, not calling out anybody's names in particular, but most people, that just the conventional wisdom, people would tell me, it's like, there's not really a way to make a living playing music, at least not around here. Well, I mean, I'm living proof that that's not true.
Let's say, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life, dude.
That's right.
Oh, trust me. I mean, there's downsides to it like anything. I mean,
boys.
It's a weird expectation. Like, there's people who expect, if you complain about anything related to a job I do, they think that I'm just ungrateful or something. Like, no, I got problems to deal with just like you do. I mean, it's one of these things where. And, look, as much as I love it, there are times where I'm tired. There are times where my hands hurt. There's times where my back hurts,
I think 2 weeks ago, I catered 3 events. Like I basically cooked Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and my AC broke in my house. Like it was like 3 weeks ago or something, 2 weeks ago.
The craziest day I ever had. I made buku money. I played 4 gigs in the span of 24 hours.
Jesus. Yeah, dude.
I made like over $1,000 that weekend. I wanted to lay down.
Dude, I was so like
that's stripper money, man.
Yeah,
that's
like Sunday rolled around.
Dancing on the stage money.
Sunday rolled around, and like my event was early Sunday. So like after that was over, dude, I literally my whole body was fucking sore. Like I know how. Yeah, it's rough.
The ends of my fingers.
I bet, dude. I like for you, and I use my hands a lot. Like when I'm doing the stuff, it's so like the tendons in my fucking wrist.
It's probably more joint stuff for you, right?
So like I'll get sometimes where like I can barely like open and close my hand, just like I don't know if it's carpal tunnel or something.
With drums, it was actually a slightly different thing, and you can probably relate to this a little bit because I tend to play pretty hard when I play the drums. Every drummer plays a little bit differently. I guess I have a lot of upper body strength or something. I don't know, but I tend to lay into them. And the problem is, right in here on my hand is what would hurt.
Yeah.
Because of that flick of the wrist pushing there on the hi-hat there.
Look at the wrist.
I don't know if that's something went back when you were playing drums, if that's what you had a problem with there.
But. No, I just wasn't very good. drums.
He's like, my problem was I just kind of sucked.
So I will tell you a secret. For the longest time, I did not realize that my kick foot needed to be up on my toe as opposed to I was trying to do like I'm tapping, like this as opposed to up on my toe, kicking like that.
Well, there's some who do
And that's when I learned that it changed my fucking life playing drums.
It made it much easier.
Oh my God, it was unreal.
Well, but it's one of these things. I mean, then you got to keep after. I mean, then now, funny enough, I've gotten to the point where I don't have to, knock on wood. I can usually play my shows through colds. That's not, now sometimes I have to change what I'm playing or I can't do. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be able to bust out my Chris Cornell stuff whenever I'm fighting off a cold or something like that. That's just not gonna happen.
Sometimes you play Hunger Strike and I'm like, holy shit.
Well, and
the pipes on this guy.
The pipe on this guy.
The pipe on this guy. The hose he's packing.
Well,
Jesus Christ.
The thing is,
this guy's got a whale in his pants. I mean, wait.
Well, it's one of these things. So on that particular song, I got to go between Eddie Vedder doing all the grumbly, loathing, I'm going hungry thing.
I'm going hungry.
And then I got to do Chris Cornell, who's all, it's one. I'll tell you what, that last note on that song kicks my ass every fucking time.
I'm sure it does. Jimmy Norton says, Tyler, your carpal tunnel started when you found and then eggplant emoji, whatever that means.
Hey-o.
Yeah, I was like 12.
Hey-o.
Again, you walked into that one.
I did, dude.
You know.
I assume it's carpal tunnel. I don't know what it is, dude.
Probably just tired wrists from.
It's fucking. Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of these things. But my point being, and I don't mean the inspirational note to the kids. Really, it's like I tell people most things in life. It's just about a matter of setting your expectations for one. And I know that sounds like a kind of a depressing thing to say. Like, don't say, but
No, you always hear.
Don't dream too big, damn it.
Yeah, you always hear, shoot for the moon. You'll land among the stars. You're like, yeah, bro, that's not real. Just don't try to overachieve.
If you do want to shoot for the moon or the stars, whatever, that's great. But treat it more like a ladder. Don't treat it like a slingshot, I guess is the best way to put it.
Jimmy said his wiener as if I actually needed that explained.
Thanks.
Reading between the lines there.
I appreciate the help you offered there, Jimmy. That was
we couldn't have gone the rest of our lives without that, could we?
Oh God.
But again, I tell people, you're
awesome, Jimmy.
I tell people, look, and that's the thing. First of all, especially in this day and age, chasing fame is one of the most overrated concepts you can fall into. That's a trap you can fall into if you're not careful.
That's why I ran for mayor.
Damn straight.
Just chasing that fame,
chasing
baby.
the fame, dude. Hey, hashtag. And if.
Yes, because Sean had no sense.
We do not.
Yeah.
Sean had no sense of civic duty or any ideas of how to improve the community.
Not
none of that shit. He wanted to go for TikTok followers.
That's all I wanted. That's all. I thought if I make some videos, running for mayor, I want to be a guy. People will follow. And I can say shit like this now because the campaign's over.
Right.
Just like I talk about all the time. I tell people, they were like, man, you came really close. I was like, yeah, I don't know if you know this, but the entire time I ran, I knew I wasn't going to win. But I couldn't say that during the campaign because you just don't go into things with that kind of attitude. Like, you take your best to it and you do what you can. But like the entire time I was campaigning, I was like, I'm not going to win. We're just trying to make a splash. And we did. So.
Well, I mean, and they're actually, it's sort of to my point there about, it's a matter of setting your expectations. And one thing, I tell people all the time, because it's funny, especially at the bars where they ask me to lean on the more country stuff, my Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Merle Haggard stuff. I get drunk people coming to me all the time. You ought to go down to Nashville and make a name for yourself. To which I tell them all the time, I'm like, I'm not going to fucking do that for several reasons.
I'm not going to fucking
Hey, man, I'm here to tell you, there's only 2 reasons you're not famous.
Brother, you know any Toby Keith?
I love this bar.
But what I tell them is I said, I'm not going to fucking do that for several reasons. I say, number one, when you go down there, those people on Broadway are not getting paid a dime by the establishments they're playing. They're living on a tip jar. And that's not a way to live as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I mean, it's the way I live, but
well,
while we're being honest.
But I mean, it's a steady place of employment where you can count on at least some wage.
Oh, absolutely.
People just give you the tip.
Whereas, and don't get me wrong, I'm grateful for tips people give me. That's not at all. But if it was a gig where look, I'll play for free, like for charity events, or like. If it's a real close friend of mine or something, like it's their wedding or, something like that, like we all would, a situation like that. But, look, it is a job and you got to treat it like one. I mean, you can vary what you charge people or, bars pay various rates, take it or leave it. And that's the way that is. And you just got to decide whether you're okay with that in the individual situation. Right? But, but going back to the thing where people say, go down to Nashville. Well, first of all, they overestimate. This, and I don't know how well you do, but you know me all the time. I'm not that country, first of all.
Right.
But second of all, even if I were, again, going and chasing fame in the outer, we're talking the Beatles. George Harrison wrote that song, The Inner Light, and one of his lines there is, the farther one travels, the less one knows. Now, if from a philosophical sense, what that means is you got to search for you're going to do much better off searching for what's within yourself, capability-wise, than you are going to go chase an external force out there that's going to try to help you. Now, look, there are some industries where maybe you do have to relocate or something. Look, if you live in the middle of Alaska, you might want to move somewhere where there's a few more people and a few more bars to play. Sorry, the Grizzly Bears are not going to pay you enough money to
you're
play.
Playing at the tuna can every night.
But for the most part, if you live in a place with even a modest-sized population, you can do what I do. And I tell people, look, you don't have to be that good to do what I do either. Again, you just got to know, learn as many songs as you can, learn them as well as you can. And if you can carry a tune, and you know how to talk a little bit of business with you. You don't have to really be that good at haggling or anything.
Right.
You just have to be able to know what these places are expecting of you.
Derek Schubert says Aaron Lewis is not that country, and he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, but the of course he was rock and then switched to country though, right?
I can't stand him as country, but I love Old Stained.
Look at Yonsei, dude.
Yeah.
Country. Well, I mean,
Darius is all get out.
Darius Rucker did that too, right? But anyway, but I tell people all the time, I say, look, if you just want to make money playing music, you're better off staying right the fuck where you are.
Sure.
With a few exceptions. Like, again, living in the middle of Alaska, sorry, can't do that.
Can't do that.
But with, or maybe you can. I've never been to the middle of Alaska. I may be talking out of my ass there.
I don't know. I'm good. I think I'm good here or in Florida or.
Well, and but it's one of these things, again, it's just a matter of setting goals for yourself. And again, for me, it's just, I want to make money doing a job I like doing.
Sure.
And that I find fun, even if it is unconventional. Right. And that's where, and again, this year I've been fortunate where I haven't had to chase around near as many gigs. Again, I mentioned Tom O'Shea earlier. The O'Shea's franchise in Louisville booked me, I haven't counted exactly, but between, they have music at 2 of their 3 locations. They do music 4 days a week. They have like 400 dates a year to hand.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they gave me like 40 of them.
That's awesome.
So basically, any blank I had in my calendar, they pretty much went and
filled. They filled it, yeah.
I've got some other dates to offer people and stuff. So if you want me to come play for you people, hit me up.
You want to book Ruben Guthrie? Where do you do most of your booking from? Facebook or?
It depends. You can email me. It's just ruben.guthrie@yahoo.com. I had that started an email account when I was like 13 or 14. I've just kept it ever since then.
So you're one of the people that had like the OG. Like you don't have to be some dumb shit like Sean Dash uppercase Burton .42025 at yahoo.com.
This may shock you. My name is not that common.
Right. True story.
Well, actually, funny if there's an Australian film that has my name. It's called Ruben Guthrie. I want to watch it sometime. I've never seen it.
It's just a softcore porn.
No, it's not that.
No. So speaking of names being popular, right? There's a kid on Instagram that's named Tyler. That's named Tyler Me, right?
Spelled like you?
Yeah, exactly. Tyler Me. And my Instagram name is Tyler Me, right? And he messages me once a year and asks me, he quit doing it now, but literally for like 4 years straight, once a year, he would message me and be like, hey man, can I have your username? And I'm like, He's like, it's my name, and that's what I want for my username. I'm like, and I messaged back. I'm like, yeah, no shit, idiot. It's my name too. Like that's why I have it.
John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Yeah, dude. But like, it literally got to the point. I'm like, if you think about this, dude, it's really our parents' fault for naming us the same thing, and it sucks that for you that I'm older, so I had Instagram first.
Now I gotta say, there are probably a lot more Sean Burtons out there.
A ton. Macy Shockley said there is. I just Googled you and like was like, yeah, that's not him.
And neither is that guy. And neither is that guy.
And neither is that guy.
I need to talk to
Macy, how
Macy.
are
I need
you?
To get I need to get a facial, dude. Our coupons are expired, but I want one.
Coupons are long expired.
I want one. I need to start doing like a skincare routine.
But we got to wrap it up.
We got to wrap it up.
We got to wrap it all up.
What time's?
Just sell him the name. Duh. It says
9:30.
Adam Lloyd. Sell it to him.
9:30.
Have him hit that Venmo.
Well, boys, it's been fun like always.
Dude, like, every time you're on, we start talking and it just flows right
It just
through.
flows, man. A couple things I want to say before
It doesn't feel like we've been
go.
doing this for an hour and a half.
Yeah. A couple things I want to say before we go. If you want to advertise with the Mind Snacks podcast or with any of their second string media show, you can email me, Sean B at secondstringmedia.net, or any questions you have, info@secondstringmedia.net. Let us know. You want to advertise with the podcasts? They're going to start getting really good, okay? Not that they haven't been, okay? We've been in here banging for 4 years. Banging it out.
Do I have an email?
Huh?
Do I have a company email?
Not yet, but you will.
Woo!
I got space, buddy. I'll get you set up.
Sheesh.
Sheesh. All right, Ruben Guthrie, man. Thank you for coming in tonight, dude. Anything you want to say before you go?
Well, one extra bit I've been dispensing advice. Maybe I'm not qualified to give up to this point, but my final point I did think of is an important point, and it's easy to get trapped up into the competitive mindset. I was, we could go on a whole philosophical rant about why I think the competitive mindset can have some really detrimental effects in the wrong places. Don't get me wrong. As a sports guy, I'm sure there's merits for it, and I love sports too. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
But if you are looking at a freelance career or something, for the most part, you don't be withhold. I mean, look, if someone else wants to get in the field, I'm a pretty open book. Where people ask me like, "Oh, how do you who's the booking person to talk to at this place or whatever?" I tell them what they need to know.
Sure,
and unless you have reason to think that person really is out to screw you, which really is not that often.
No.
and
he's like, that's my fucking place. Stay out of it.
Stay out of there.
But
we don't want you.
But like I tell people, I said in the long run, you'll be much more beneficial. And you know what? Because if I couldn't have gotten into the place I've gotten if they didn't take on new people. So they need to take on new. Ideally, you stay on at your old places, but they can also take on new people periodically too. That's kind of the role there. So again, just be as generous with your opportunities as people have been with you.
Look at that. Guess. Look at that. What a guy. Thank you so much, Ruben. Tyler, me anything you want to say before you go?
Well,
you got nothing?
Nothing.
No final thoughts.
Liam Neeson was a teacher once. That's it.
Until he got taken?
I've been thinking about that ever since Ruben said he's a substitute teacher, dude.
You're really curious about that part of my life, aren't you?
Yeah. I can just picture him as having a sub, dude.
I mean, there are patrons of facilities.
The reason Liam Neeson, the reason he quit or he's not a teacher is he knocked the kid out.
Yeah. Have you seen the body count? That dude's a badass.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sting was a teacher before he was in the police.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, I thought you meant like Sting the wrestler.
No.
Like he also knocked motherfuckers out.
Yeah, he's like,
you're talking about Sting in the police.
Turns out teaching ain't my thing.
Sheryl Crow was a teacher before she.
There's my request, Ruben. There's my request. Message in a Bottle by the Police. You ever heard it?
We've talked about doing police stuff in Anthem. I love that song. It's a great song. That guitar part is murder.
That's why it's on Guitar Hero.
Yeah,
which is the only reason I know that song.
Yeah.
But like I said, Sheryl Crow was a school teacher before she got famous too.
Yeah, dude.
Every day is a winding road.
Every day is a winding road.
Guys, thank you so much one more time for checking out the Mind Stacks podcast, for sitting through the stream, sitting through the podcast, whatever you did. Make sure, if you're watching live, that you hit us up on Spotify and iTunes. Follow us in both places or one place, whichever one you use. And go like that YouTube page. Subscribe to the YouTube page at Second String Media. We're getting out of here. Okay? It's time to go.
Toodles.
It's night time. We're out.
Night time, dude.
It's sick fade time.
Fucking night time.
It's gone. Thanks again, guys.